Hey guys, it's Frozenballz here, and today we're going to be talking about something a little bit different than what I usually do. Now, this isn't something which I really thought would be, content which people would like to see, but I keep getting requests on stream and even on YouTube comments about what fashion frame and what colors I use for my warframes and weapons and all that kind of stuff. So this video in particular is going to be focused around the color choices which I use, and it'll also kind of highlight the actual color palettes as well. Now, out of the color palettes which I use, I think I use about 3 or maybe 4 different color palettes. One of them being Gamma, the other one being Halloween, one of them being Smoke, and I think one of them is the Tenno one, which has the dark and the light blue from. Now, for me, looking good is, very important. For me, visually appealing warframes is just as important as, the function of the warframes and having good builds. So it's just one of those things that I will spend ages, trying to just go through builds, and once I've, modified the build to how I like it, then I'll spend even more time, customizing the look. And I've had situations where I've just sat back and just trying to figure out which armor set goes well with a warframe, which Siendana goes well with the warframe. And, with the introduction of arcanes and all that kind of stuff, it kind of frustrates me a little bit because changing arcanes requires you to use a distiller now, right? As opposed to, just kind of picking and choosing and dropping it, like drag and drop onto a different Siendana, so you can use that Siendana to look pretty. It's a little bit inconvenient and it's a little bit annoying, but what can you do? It's just one of those things. So almost always at this point, I end up using the Yamako Siendana, which came with the Ash Prime Access pack itself. In terms of my armor sets, that kind of varies. I used to use a lot of Targus Prime back in the day, but nowadays it's a lot of Paco chest, and some shoulders, and then using the Riv Elite armor set, the PvP armor set, which you can also pick up for 100 platinum from the marketplace itself. I do use the Riv comp as well, which you can only get for PvP standing itself. Same with the PvP Siendana, you can only get that from PvP standing itself. In terms of Siendanas, I tend to usually just use one particular Siendana because it's the one that has my arcanes on, and it's just one of those things that the utility of the arcanes is too much for me to not, use that particular Siendana itself. In terms of colors, I get a lot of people saying to me that, I look like an edgelord or whatever. I'm like, whatever. I don't care what you think. At the end of the day, the color schemes which I choose look good to me. So, I'll go with the ones which look good to me. And in the end, if people like it, then so be it. I've got a few color schemes which were inspired, by external sources, you could say. For example, my pure black NEZHA with the electric blue energy is inspired by Zoom from the Flash TV show. My pure black Wukong with the white upside down Cephalon Samara sigil, which looks like a Punisher skull, is inspired by, of course, the Punisher character itself. I also have another one which was for Siren, not the Siren Prime, but original Siren. She was inspired by Poison Ivy. Then I had a Mesa that was inspired by the new 50U Deathstroke. And if you haven't already figured it out by now, I like my comic book characters. Just saying. Now, I know a lot of people are inspired by stuff like, One Punch Man and some other animes and all that kind of stuff, but since I'm not much of an anime person, it doesn't really, I don't draw inspiration from that pool itself. I draw inspiration from TV shows, movies, and, other characters and all that kind of stuff. When it comes to my color schemes itself, as you can see in this picture, it is inspired from these specific palettes itself. I don't tend to deviate too much. Although I'm always open to experimentation and trying to find new color sets, which are specific to certain warframes, which end up looking good. But I do end up finding one color set, which is kind of universal, which fits for the rest of the color schemes, which fits with the rest of the warframes, and just kind of meshes together. It's just one of those things. I kind of like having all of my weapons, my warframes, my Lisette, my Kubros, my Sentinels, my Kavats, my Arkwings, everything looking exactly the same and kind of meshing together. So it just looks like a themed thing altogether. And my current theme right now, as you guys have probably seen on stream, is the black, red, and white with the electric blue energy color. It's not pure, red itself or pure black or anything like that. It looks a bit washed out because I'm using the Gamma one. And personally, I think that one looks a bit better because it's a bit more subtle of an edgelord as compared to what you usually expect to see. Of course, if I do come up with a new color scheme or anything like that, and if people are interested in it, then I'll update this video accordingly and, post a new update and, go forward with that. And I think that's about it for this video itself. I'm going to leave this video running so you can check out the rest of the warframes itself. And again, thank you very much for watching. Appreciate it. If you like what you saw, make sure you leave a like, a comment, a subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.